underneath this 2014 Outlander with the 3.0 V6, the 6B31 engine, I think it is. Had the other video that showed how to take all this down to get access to the connecting rods. We're going to replace the connecting rod bearings. Got some rod knock and issues going on, but just want to show that you can get to all of the cylinders, all of the pistons from down here without having to actually remove the motor or take the pistons actually out. So just a quick look. So I'm going to start with just removing cylinder 1, and you're going to need something, a 12-point socket of some sort, to get to these connecting rod bolts right here. And something you want to do before you start taking stuff apart, just to be sure, is make sure you label which direction faces towards the crank or towards the trans, whatever, but I always like to make a mark towards the crank with my pen, so that I don't know if you can see that one, that way I know when I put it back in there it's going the right direction. So make a big fat mark along the whole edge, sometimes it'll just wipe off. So you can go through and do all those just as they become available to you. Typically, with rod knock issues, a couple different ways to tell. You can tell from up top if you want to with that method. From down here, you should be able to grab a hold of the connecting rod and move it and feel some issues going on. Now this engine is at the early stages. It's barely noticeable, but it's definitely noticeable. But I've gone through and spun this crank, and I don't have any of them that are completely noticeable. But I'm going to go ahead and swap them out because I had a lot of metal shavings in the tank. So hopefully it's just the connecting rods. So we'll start loosening that up. We'll start loose. Greasy. Without busting a knuckle. Yeah, it's a little tight under here. Probably get a cheater bar for the next one. Alright, so those are loose. We're going to take this down and we'll take a look at the bearings. As you need the piston to be down so you can grab the connecting rod and move it just a little bit. The dogs are excited about the Amazon guy, I think. So we'll get this taken down. Alright, so as you get these taken down on the last thread before they come out, you can use these to help just rock the bottom of the bearing cap. It's definitely got some wear marks on it. It's got some lines in it, but I think it's pretty smooth overall. Let's get... So this other bearing down here, or up here, I'm just going to push the piston up a little bit and then see if we can push it through. Just make it round the corner there a little bit. So I don't want to push the piston up too far to where I can't reach it back in there. Yeah, here it comes. And that's got some wear on it. Alright, so we've got our new bearings. These are through D&J. I'll put a item number or something down in the description. But you just want to make sure that they match. Don't go through all this trouble just to find out that you got the wrong size, right? So the oil hole's the same place. The little tab up here is in the same place. Because when you put this back in, there's a little spot. See the notch? The notch has to match the bearing that you're putting back in. Now it's going to get a little sloppy, but you can either use assembly lube or you can just use some engine oil, but you want to get them lubed up and slid back into place. So we're just going to take some oil and put on our bearing, and we'll slide it up in there. Slide it, just follow the curve. The splash shield's kind of in my way. So before you pull it down too tight, make sure it's lined up. See, I'm off right now, so I need to back up and realign. See if I can get you guys in there. Okay, you see that? Yep. Alright, so the bottom bearing, just take it out, wipe off the shell, make sure there's nothing wrong with the shell part. Make sure you know your alignment piece, which way it's facing. Match up your bearing to your shell. Pop it in place. And we want to have some oil in here. And then we just put it back in place. Use your hand to make sure it's seating correctly, because those little tabs need to make sure that the bearings go all the way in. And I'm just going to reuse the bolt. It doesn't have much torque on it. Plus it's 90 degrees. Plus, I mean, you know, if it's not necessary, don't do it. So let me just get these lined up and I'll get your torque stuff. Alright, so this is 15 foot-pound plus 90 degrees. Right here, connecting rod, cap, nut, 15 foot-pound plus or minus 1, then 90 degrees. So I went and got me one of these Quinn torque and angle ratchets. So I've used it a few times. I kind of like it so far, but it gives you a little tonality, although it is a little long, but It'll give me a beep. Yeah, you want to see it? So it just increases the read, and then it gives you a audible tone when you're on it. Red beep. So we'll do the same thing. Another 15 foot-pounds. It's a Harbor Freight item. Okay, 15 foot-pound, then 90 degrees. So I preset the 90 on here, but I may have to set it back down for it to register. Okay, no, it's pre-calibrated. So there we've got 90 degrees. Same thing, it'll just give us a reading as we're going. So it starts at 0. The cool thing about it is you can just ratchet it and it keeps track of how far it's gone. In these tight spaces, it's nice. Yeah. And then do the other one. Oh, forgot. Got to reset it. So now it says I'm 105, but I'm not. Hit the power button once, resets to 90, and then start going again. Easier without the tripod in the way. Okay, and that one's done. So basically rinse and repeat, but what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to start dropping my camera apparently. Which way are we facing here, kids? Oh geez, we're getting dizzy. Alright. So this is cylinder 1. I'm just going to crank it over to number 2 and go next. I'm just going to go all the way down to the back and do it in order. There's a 22 mil. Turn the crank. Get it down to the bottom, but not too far back, because if you go too far back you can't get your hand down in there to get behind it. So now I'm going to do this one. Alright, you guys don't really need to see the rest of the same thing. It's basically you're taking the bearings down, replacing them, putting them back in, rinse and repeat. But so here's some of the stuff you're going to need. Here's the bearing set that I ordered. For this one, you know, your ratchet, extension, paint pen, and torque spec. So anyway, hope that helped you out, man. Have a good day.